She only turned away for a few seconds. Just long enough to grab her phone from the counter. Her baby was lying on the playmat, right in the living room. And just a few feet away, sat Bruno, the family's massive German Shepherd. He'd always been loyal. Gentle, even. But he was still a dog. And deep down, she couldn't shake that one fear. What if something goes wrong? Then she heard a noise. She rushed back in, heart pounding. And what she saw next left her frozen. Her name was Emily, a new mom, doing her best to juggle diapers, dishes, and exhaustion on barely 3 hours of sleep a night. Her baby, Noah, was just 6 months old, all soft cheeks and curious eyes. And then there was Bruno. A towering German Shepherd with deep, alert eyes and a past nobody fully knew. He was a rescue, found tied to a fence one freezing winter, bones showing, spirit broken. Emily and her husband had adopted him 2 years earlier. And despite what he'd been through, Bruno had become family. He followed Emily everywhere. Slept at the foot of the crib. Sat silently beside the stroller during every walk. But not everyone trusted him. Big dogs don't belong around babies, Emily's mother had warned. You just never know, her neighbor whispered. Emily tried to ignore it. Tried to believe that love was enough. But part of her still worried. What if they were right? At first, everything felt fine. Bruno would lie quietly beside the baby's crib, ears perked up, tail gently wagging whenever Noah giggled. But deep down, Emily couldn't shake a thought that gnawed at her every now and then. Bruno was still an animal. A big, strong one. And Noah was just a baby. Fragile. Defenseless. What if Bruno got startled? What if Noah grabbed his ear too hard one day? What if instinct overpowered training? She brushed it off most of the time. But every once in a while, she'd catch Bruno staring, eyes fixed on the baby, and her chest would tighten. Dogs snap, Emily. No matter how sweet they seem, her sister warned again after seeing a news story. Even Emily's husband started suggesting they keep a little distance. Just until Noah's older, he said. But Emily couldn't bring herself to push Bruno away. He had never shown anything but love. Still, the doubt lingered. Until the day it all came crashing in. It was just another afternoon. Sunlight filtered through the curtains, warm and soft. Noah was lying on his playmat in the living room, cooing and waving his little hands in the air. Bruno, as usual, was nearby, stretched out a few feet away, eyes half closed but always watching. Emily was tidying up in the kitchen, just steps away. She could hear Noah babbling. She reached for her phone, a quick check of a message, a call she'd forgotten to return. 30 seconds. Maybe less. Then, a loud thump. A strange rustle. A short, sharp bark. Emily's heart stopped. She dropped her phone, hands trembling as she rushed around the corner. And there it was. Bruno was standing directly over Noah. His massive body blocking the baby completely. His ears up. Tail stiff. Eyes locked on something. For a moment, her world spun. Her stomach twisted in terror. Was this it? Had her worst fear come true? Then, she saw what was really happening. Emily froze. Her eyes locked on Bruno, towering over her baby like a wall. Noah, she whispered, already lunging forward, her heart hammering in her chest. But then, she saw it. Just inches from Noah's tiny hand. A large spider. Black. Hairy. Fast. It had crawled out from behind the bookshelf, heading straight toward the baby. Bruno wasn't attacking. He wasn't growling. He was guarding. He had positioned his body between the spider and the baby, standing completely still, not hurting it, not panicking. Just protecting. And as Emily stepped closer, Bruno looked up at her, and slowly stepped aside, allowing her through. Noah, still giggling, completely unaware, reached up toward Bruno. And Bruno gently lowered his head so the baby could touch his fur. That was the moment. Not just a breath of relief, but a wave of realization. Bruno hadn't been a danger. He had been a shield. Emily sat down beside Noah, her hands still shaking, not from fear anymore, but from awe. She looked at Bruno, this so-called dangerous dog, once abandoned and broken. And now, here he was, quietly laying his head next to her baby's tiny feet. She began to remember all the small things she hadn't paid much attention to before. The way Bruno would check Noah's crib every night before sleeping. The way he'd alert her softly with a nudge when the baby cried. The time he barked at the delivery man, only when the stranger stepped too close to the stroller. She had missed it. All those moments weren't coincidences. They were love. Silent, watchful, unwavering love. Bruno wasn't just part of the family. He had taken it upon himself to become Noah's protector. Not because anyone trained him to, but because his heart knew how. From that day forward, everything changed. Emily no longer looked at Bruno with quiet fear. She looked at him with gratitude, and with trust. She started documenting their little moments. Noah gripping Bruno's ear with his tiny fingers while Bruno patiently sat still. Bruno curling up beside the crib during naps, breathing in rhythm with Noah's soft snores. The way he'd gently nose a fallen pacifier closer to the baby. It wasn't just protection. It was affection. A bond that had grown in silence, unnoticed, until it revealed itself in the most unforgettable way. Family and friends who once warned her now watched in disbelief. Her mother even said, "I was wrong, that dog is more of a parent than some people." And Emily realized something. Bruno, who once had no one, had found his purpose in watching over someone who couldn't even speak yet. And he was perfect at it. Emily once feared the worst. But what she saw that day was the best of what love can be. Bruno didn't need words to show his loyalty. He didn't need praise, or training, or permission. All he needed was someone to protect, and he chose her baby without question. It's easy to fear what we don't fully understand. Easy to judge based on size, on stories, on what-ifs. But sometimes, the gentlest souls are wrapped in the most unexpected forms. Bruno had been thrown away, doubted, feared, and still, he gave nothing but love. Not just to Emily, but to her child. So the next time you're quick to judge, or scared of what might happen, remember Bruno. The dog who didn't need a voice to speak the loudest kind of love. Some guardians don't wear uniforms. Some heroes don't ask for attention. And some angels have 4 legs and fur.